101, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Planning Commission for Tuesday, August 26, 2025. To order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Chris, could you call the roll, please?
Sure. Mr. Alvey. Mr. Dean.
Present.
Mr. Donahue.
Present.
Mr. Housley. Here. Mr. Hines, I'm here. Mr. Montgomery.
Present.
Mr. Pollock.
Present.
Mr. Record.
Here.
Mr. Ripley.
Here.
Mr. Frost.
Here.
Mr. Glister.
Present.
Mr. Reidenbach.
Here.
Mr. Neal.
Present.
Miss Easton.
Here.
And
Mr. Alvey. Okay, the next item on the agenda is consider approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held May 27, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as is.
Motion by Chris to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Second by Derek. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is communications. Chris.
Communications. Resolution number 21-2025. Planning Commission approval of a preliminary and final lot consolidation plan known as S-2-2025, lots 508 and 509 plan, approved on May 27th, 2025.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Next item on the agenda is pre-application advisory presentations. We have none. Then there's old business. Consider recommendation to council for preliminary land development plan known as SP-1-2024 Tarbovich Garage Building located at Cherry Street, lot and block 881-P-121, owned by Ned Tarbovich. The property is zone MU. The applicant wishes to construct a 3,500 square foot warehouse with an access driveway off of Cherry Street with 4 parking spaces, utility connections, and an underground stormwater management facility. Now, I'm in possession of a request for tabling till, what is it, December 20th? So that's what they want to do. So anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Chris for a tabling for the Tarbovich land development. Who wants to second that? Second by Gary. Okay. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda, under old business, consider a motion to accept the request from AUUE Incorporated to withdraw their preliminary land development application known as SP-9-218 UPMC South. I'll entertain a motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Jeffrey,
No second.
second by Kevin. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is to consider a recommendation to the zoning hearing board for use by special exception request from Pennsylvania American Water Company to zoning ordinance 891, article 300.4 for an authorized use of a principal land use listed under article for an essential service. The applicant is requesting to replace an underground pressure reducing valve vault within the R1 zoning district at a property owned by Pennsylvania American Water Company, lot and block 1004-N-225 Ridge Road, Finleyville. And the hearing is scheduled for Thursday, September 4th, 2025. Just some background. There are some things that we need to recommend to the zoning hearing board in the zoning ordinance. This is one of them. It's it's an essential service, so that would go. Then we'll write a letter to them with if you have any conditions or not. So this is not an engineering thing, so I'll go right to PA American.
But this is a repair of an existing facility.
He'll explain.
Okay.
Can you hear me? So, is this on? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
All right.
This looks a little.
Good evening, Planning Commission. My name's Mike Ellis with Pannoni Associates. We're the engineering firm for Pennsylvania American Water Company. With me is Morgan Castle from Pennsylvania American, project manager. I'll give you a quick overview. What we're requesting is a special exception use for essential services within the R1 zone to have a water distribution facility. And we're also requesting a variance for a front yard setback. The property is tax parcel 1004-N-255 on Ridge Road. It does not have an address. It's directly across from Dale Road. It is owned by Pennsylvania American Water Company. What we're proposing to do is to replace an existing aged vault that's on the site right now with a slightly larger vault. The vault will house a pressure-reducing valve, PRV for short, which is just decreasing the water pressure from one side to the other so that we don't overpressurize the downstream customers. The PRV is there now. It's just an aged vault and an aged device that the Pennsylvania American is actively looking to replace. We were before, and also the essential service is the use, and potable water distribution is a defined application, or it's part of the definition of essential service. We received zoning hearing board approval 2 years ago on August 31st, 2023, for the same request, a special exception use for essential services, and in this case, a 4-yard front yard setback. We're asking for a 5-foot this time on the property immediately adjacent to where the PRV is right now. Pennsylvania American subsequently got PennDOT highway occupancy permits, building permit from the borough, and easements from the property owner to move forward with the structure there. The property where the existing vault is located subsequently became available to purchase, so Pennsylvania American purchased that property, and it was agreed to between them and the property owner next door that it was a preferable solution to replace the vault in the property on the property where it is right now. So we're coming back before the borough to ask for the relief in order to have the use remain on that property. It is an existing use on the property. We don't have any record of the special exception documentation that may have predated the time of either the zoning ordinance or special exception. So we're looking just to clean things up and to get an approval for the special exception use now, as well as the variance. This is, again, a typical application for a water system. Everything will be below ground within a vault. It'll stick up about 6 inches above grade, with the exception of, and it'll be within a concrete vault with a locked hatch on top of it. There will be, the only thing that you'll see above ground, there will be an electrical and controls cabinet on a concrete pad sitting behind it. A driveway will be installed as part of this, which will be an improvement over the existing condition. There is no driveway, so it's not ideal for access for operation and maintenance by Pennsylvania American. We have been in touch with PennDOT regarding the driveway. They've issued a permit for the driveway, and we're also working with them on a permit for the water main replacement work, which also, again, we had gotten 2 years ago, and we're just amending that right now. So as far as a special exception goes, we're in compliance with all the standards for special exceptions within the zoning ordinance, including that it will not endanger the public nor deteriorate the environment. In fact, this will be a public benefit, given this is part of the public water distribution system. Will adhere to signage, parking, loading, screening, landscaping, and storage requirements. Nothing will be stored outside. There's no signage. There will be room for one vehicle to be able to park just temporarily while they're doing operation and maintenance. Will not hinder ingress or egress to the property. Again, we've gotten a PennDOT highway occupancy permit for the driveway, and no permanent lighting is proposed. So those are 4 of the 4 criteria for a special exception in general. And then within the special exception specific use requirements for essential services, it just refers to all equipment being enclosed or locked or fenced in. In this case, as I mentioned, everything's going to be enclosed within the vault and or within the locked electrical cabinet above ground. We will not exceed any height limitations. The cabinet sticks up about 7 feet above ground. Everything else, again, like I said, is only 6 inches. So we would respectfully request a positive recommendation to the zoning hearing board. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I have plans I can go through if you want to get into any details on it.
Okay, Chris. You had a question?
Well, I was, if this is an existing facility and you're upgrading the existing facility, is it the fact that you have to come here because of you're putting in a road, well, a driveway, you're expanding it a little bit because as opposed to fixing a specific item inside?
Yeah, so we're going to replace the vault, so we're putting in a
Completely.
slightly larger vault. So as a result, because we're replacing it, we're coming before the zoning hearing board to ask for the use to be officially documented on the
Okay.
property.
Will residents have their water service impacted during this process?
No, so we have it designed in a way that we'll be able to maintain water service as this is being constructed. So we'll have valves that'll go in as
Sure.
it's being constructed so that we can keep the active line active. And then when this is new and functional, we'll be able to just flip it right over
Sure.
by opening and closing some valves.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any noise associated with this reducing valve?
Nope, no, and any noise is extremely, it's just normal noise of just like a water flowing through a pipe underground. So, yeah, there's no noise that you'll be able to hear associated with it. And again, it's the same as what is out there right now, just newer equipment.
Does the highway occupancy permit application or approval take into consideration how your vehicle pulls in and out? Because it looks like you're making just a single pull-in spot, so you'd be backing out on the Ridge Road?
Either
Or is it-
backing in or vice versa, yeah. So
Yeah, I'm just
the-
wondering.
Yeah, so what we had looked into that with PennDOT was the options were, well, no parking, which is obviously not preferred. We actually want to make sure we have something. We're really limited on the options there. To do a parallel parking would not have been preferred either, because then it's going to be a car practically into the road. They did have us shift over the driveway so that it does line up with the intersection. Obviously, that does mean that there could be some infrequent turning movements into that intersection.
Oh, I'm
but
sorry,
that
what
was-
intersection is this?
sorry, with Dale Road.
Oh,
intersection
okay.
of Dale and Ridge.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, so, that was preferred by PennDOT over having it offset in a way that there could be increased turning movement issues. To extend the driveway further, the property drops off steeply and is wooded and would be significant additional land disturbance. May not even be practical to do that, so this is an improvement over the existing condition where there's no driveway right now.
Okay, but does PennDOT recognize you'll be backing out on the Ridge Road
Yes, PennDOT is aware
with
of,
that occupancy permit?
yes, they are
Okay.
aware of the
So there's
operation.
adequate site distance and all that?
Oh, yeah,
Right there.
so yes, we actually did go out and look at site distance. In fact, PennDOT had us, requested that a few trees be trimmed back along the property in order to ensure that the adequate site distance was there.
Okay, thank you.
How often will maintenance even be performed on a unit like this? It can't be often, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so these are pretty much, I don't want to say set it and forget it, but they're they really don't require, day-to-day maintenance. It's basically checking in periodically. There will be a control system associated with it also, and alarms in the event that it was to malfunction that they'll find out remotely. So more than likely.
Okay.
Is there any staff questions? No, I don't think so. Anybody else, any questions up here, comments? Well, entertain a motion to recommend or not. So moved by Pervez, second? Second by Tom. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is consider approval for a preliminary and final minor subdivision known as S-4-2025 Jefferson United Presbyterian Church subdivision located at 710 and 716 Gill Hall Road, Jefferson Hills, lot and block 768-E-150, 1 owned by Jefferson United Presbyterian Church. The property is zone R2. The applicant wants to create a lot to separate the house. End of the 90-day review period is November 25th, 2025. Tom.
The engineer surveyor is Gales Consulting, engineers and land surveyors. The zoning, engineering, and Allegheny County review reports are attached. The plan is not recommended for approval based on Gateway Engineers review dated August 22nd, 2025. Mark?
Jared.
I'll take this.
Jared, yeah.
So this plan was reviewed under Chapter 22 preliminary and final requirements, and under Chapter 27 R2 zoning requirements. As stated, the plan is not recommended for approval. All of the content regarding the preliminary application content checklist has been provided. We had 3 comments regarding this plan. The first was to revise the zoning summary table to include the R2 zoning information for all other uses. Only the single-family home uses were provided. Related to this, we asked that the side setbacks for the principal and accessory structures on Lot 2 conform with the 30-foot minimum requirements for all other uses. This would be specifically for the church lot, which, based on the plan, we are interpreting to not be a single-family use, and thus would fall under the 30-foot minimum side setback requirements for principal and accessory structures. By revising this setback, the existing frame shed that exists on the property would exist within the side yard setback and would thus create a non-conforming lot. And our final comment was just that the applicant shall address any comments received from the Allegheny County Department of Economic Development.
Okay, is there any other staff comments down? No. Doug, you want to address it for the church?
Hi, Doug Wyman. I'm representing the Jefferson UP Church, and we thought this would be an easy 2-lot subdivision, but obviously it's not. So, I just wanted to say that just some of the background. The original survey was done a long time ago, and it was not treated as a corporation in the nomenclature and that kind of stuff. So we're a nonprofit corporation, and so a lot of the comments from the county and that was really, we needed to update a lot of the verbiage on the survey, and it appears if I'm not mistaken, the crux of the issue is more the side yard relating to the shed. I went back and looked at it, and because it's considered a corporation, then the side yard length becomes longer. So I wanted to get a clarification on that. I know from the church to the shed is like 40-some feet, so it falls within the category. But is it on the other side of the shed to the house that's the issue?
It would be from the proposed new property line. There is a side setback that is associated for the church's property. So 30 feet from your proposed property line that's marked on there as new lot line.
For the house that's right beside.
Well, the house one is shown as a 10-foot setback. There's a side setback for the house, and that is 10 feet, as that's a single-family home. On the church's property, because that would fall under all other uses in the R2, that's where that needs to be a 30-foot setback from the proposed property line. Does that clarify that?
The shed is considered an accessory structure to the church lot. So the 2 lots you're creating, you're subdividing off the rectory, you're subdividing off the church. Right. So where the new line is drawn, the shed as it currently stands to the new lot line between the church lot and the rectory lot, the shed's within the accessory structure setback.
Wait, I misunderstood what you said, but I just want to clarify, we're saying, so we put a new line in that was between the church, then the shed, and then the line to the manse, the house. Because what we want to do is we want to subdivide that off, and then we're looking to sell the manse.
Can you come up here? Can we look at this together? Just to make sure we're on the same page?
And that's what I wanted to clarify, even with the survey,
I'm speaking to my mic, I can talk really loud.
Okay?
So, full plan, that's great. Okay. So what we're talking about is, so you have this new line, church, and I call it the rectory, right here.
Yeah,
So the new lot line that's being drawn,
Okay.
subdivide this off,
Yeah.
puts this shed
right.
within the 30-foot setback.
Here, on that side of the shed. 10 feet between the
That,
shed.
is it from here to here?
From this
But he
proposed
of course,
line,
wants the shed is shed.
Yeah, where 10 foot is great for a single dwelling, but not for corporation.
Keep it with the church,
corporation, not.
because it was all one, and then they want to sell the house off.
So for
keep the
residential,
church and the
if this were
cemetery.
a residential structure,
You're not.
10 foot.
This is.
Okay.
This is a non-residential use.
They don't,
Substantial
this is the
required
problem,
30-foot
is the
setback.
setbacks
So
off of
this
this
would need to
accessory
come
structure.
So either the,
back here somewhere?
so yes, this line would need to be additional 20
Yes.
feet this way. You have a total
I
of
don't
30
think it
foot
moves.
off here,
Okay,
30 foot on
Into his backyard.
off where?
That's what
this shed,
This way?
in all honesty, the shed needs to be.
I guess he just cut some of the backyard out.
That's where
You're trying to avoid.
that's what we're trying to avoid.
So, we've run into situations a lot,
That's another 20 feet of the backyard.
small lot subdivisions like this.
So they, yeah, that's a conflict.
I recommend you can't make a non-conforming lot. Either the lot lines need to move, or the shed needs to move. Unfortunately, that's the circumstances that
So if we brought this out an additional 20 feet, would that,
30 from each line.
Yeah, they use, it's a storage.
It is,
Right on.
whenever you say each line,
They want
so the minimum rear yard for accessory structures, it does not have it split
Because
out.
of the
It's
churches,
the difference is for the side.
So the side yard, so
This is shed.
I don't think.
So they just take another 20 foot out of the backyard?
Well, it's the church that's the problem, not the house. The house is a
30 feet away
Oh,
on
you're
both
saying
sides.
just from the shed?
yeah, and that's what the surveyor, that's what I said this morning.
A lot of times,
No,
it's
we made it 10
structures.
feet, that should be fine.
It's accessory structure.
where they already
Right.
Just drag it, and as you're dragging it, just put the pipes in front, do it the Egyptian way.
Yeah, so either 20 this way,
20 foot, just
or
if
we
it's gonna
move it
the
this
house. It's
way,
not the
we
house.
sell it with the house, or
It's a church.
we take it out.
Yeah, I don't understand how, I mean, look where it is, a little bit across the parking lot,
Okay.
because it's not a house,
unfortunately, yeah, we cannot
it's a
recognize.
non-church, not a house.
That's gotta be 30 feet.
Well,
That's a lot of money.
with that clarification is that,
It's $1,200.
is that,
This is $3,000 for this.
you know, I'm sure that those boundaries were originally set up for corporations. And, you know, is there anything there that this is, you know, we're a non-exempt corporation, we're not putting a building out there that has, you know, explosives or anything like a corporation might have?
No.
Or material or whatever, maybe that's,
No, it goes by your use of the property. So if it's a non-residential use, meaning it's not used for single-family, multifamily use of the property, you know, a church is not a residential use. It's another type of use. Regardless of the ownership structure or style, the zoning ordinance only speaks to the use of the structure and the use of the property. So we understand it's not an explosive structure or anything like that,
Yeah, I mean,
and that it's an accessory to store, you know, whatever is needed for that use. However, in creating that new property line between the church use and the residential use, the shed is then non-compliant to the zoning ordinance.
it changes that.
So
Got to try.
I understand what you're saying with the ownership type, but the zoning ordinance doesn't speak to that. It speaks to the use of the property.
Yeah, and I think originally it was looked at more of a, in a light of a single dwelling type thing, and that's why all the everything had to be updated on the old
Yeah,
surveys.
and I understand that that's with the ownership and the structure that you have for the property itself. I'll say this happens on a lot of subdivision plans that we review with this accessory structure and particularly sheds. This is not a new thing.
Yeah, so in light of that, then, you know, I'd like to table it until next month, and we'll see what we're going to adjust.
Can you have- if you're-
What options do they have? I mean,
It's removal or removal of the shed and, you know, moving to a different site, or they need to move the side yard line to make 30 feet from the shed location where it is now, but then also need to look at the lot and not make sure it meets the acreage that's required.
it's 30 feet from the church building.
No, from the accessory structure, the shed.
30 feet from the proposed property line.
Oh,
Between the shed and the house, it has to be 30 feet.
Come here.
From the property.
Come here. I want to make sure we got this. I can mark it on your plan if you want.
off of that line.
Yeah. So what we're talking about, again, would be from here to here. Okay? So this is 10 foot. Okay? Which needs to be 30 foot.
Is that what the sunshine?
So if that came over and was like this,
Pretty safe.
then we're compliant.
You're also creating.
But then we need, then we just need to make sure lot one has the minimum acreage that's needed. That's the key. That's the crux.
So you could even move the shed, move the line in, or get a variance. That's your options, right?
But as far as the 10
Yeah, that would move it over to the other part of the parking lot.
we should.
10 foot, so.
Put it in the cemetery?
Yeah, you're good on the residential. It's the non-residential use that's the issue.
R2 accessory structures that'd be 10
Draw a new
foot.
property line, say,
So it's not
fine before.
differentiated.
It's an old one.
So this is
So
10.
we still may be able to.
It's just
I
the
think you
side
can
yard.
do it. If your surveyor has questions, please have him contact us.
We just couldn't see it today.
There's my card, okay?
So,
That was flipping the, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's out of compliance on both sides.
Meaning if,
it's gotta be 30 feet off that line.
Yeah, but it's also not in compliance this way too.
Shed might be gone now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Line is got new construction.
It's only 10 foot off. Wait, just wait. I'm not talking about this. Don't run away.
Is the comment that the shed is 30 foot away from the property line, is that correct?
The shed needs to maintain 30 foot from the side yard of the new proposed property line.
So then you have three options, we all think. Move the shed, make the line 30 feet, or get a variance. And leave it where. Yeah. Well, I don't think you can sell with a property because it's right on the line. No matter what, it's on the line. That's not an option.
If they altered the line on the other side.
The parking lot, it's right on the parking
Yeah,
lot.
so if they altered it on, the property line. would
Mr.
go on the
Wildman,
parking lot if they did.
whose shed would it be? Would it go with the house or would it go with the church? But I mean, who would store their stuff? The church or the people that would be buying the house? Okay.
And that's where, in theory, they should just go straight here. That structure. The shed then gets moved. Shed gets moved. No, of course, not as it is, the shed on the slab. Hey Doug, is the shed on a slab or, I forget what the shed looked like back in the day. Is it being used, is it for storage for salt and all for the parking lot, or?
Christmas decorations, lanterns for Christmas.
Okay.
That kind of stuff, nothing too exotic. Yeah, our grass is cut, so we don't
Right.
have, those types of things in there. Yeah, we could try to find a little source. And we'll check and see if we can really sell down there. A lot of
Okay, you're requesting table. You got it worked out? Okay. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to table till next month. Motion by Kevin. Second?
Second.
Second by Jeffrey. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay.
That church
Okay, next item on the agenda is consider approval for a preliminary and final minor subdivision known as S-5-2-2025, Abillo Plan of Number 1, located at 4th Street, Jefferson Hills, Lot and Block 1274-R-185, owned by Felino Salvador Abelino and Heather Sipos Abelino. The property is zone R2. The applicant wishes to subdivide the tax parcel 1274-R-185 for convenience of a parcel of ground to the adjoining property to encompass existing encroachments in exchange for an access easement across and through the unimproved 4th Street right-of-way previously recorded and banded by time. End of the 90-day review period is November 25th, 2025. Tom.
Engineer surveyor is Niall Barton. The zoning and engineering report comments are attached along with the Allegheny County review. The plan is not recommended for approval based on Gateway Engineers review dated August 22nd, 2025. Jared?
Tom, before I go, he's requested a tabling, so, but we'll still go through the process. Jared, do you want to read this?
Sure. This plan was reviewed under Chapter 22, preliminary and final land development requirements, and Chapter 27, R2 zoning requirements. From the preliminary application content checklist, the applicant shall add a legend to the plan, a table summarizing the acreages of the plan. We requested that they add building lines to parcel number 2, as they were not shown. Please show water courses on the site, and if none exist, add a note stating such. The applicant shall show FEMA flood zones on the site, and if none exist, add a note stating such. The other comments that we had related to this plan, one, that the applicant shall address comments received from Allegheny County Department of Economic Development. An owner's adoption clause is missing from the plans and should be added. We requested that they remove the signature block for being approved by Borough Council, and that they revise the signature block for the Planning Commission to be read as approved by rather than reviewed by. The other issues with this plan is that parcel number 2, as proposed on this plan, this is a simple, as the plan is proposed currently, it is a simple just subdivision to create 2 lots. Parcel number 2 would create a non-conforming lot based on the minimum requirements for lot width in the R2 zoning district. We also requested further information on what properties will actually be encumbered by an easement noted on the plan. As depicted, the easement coincides with the public right-of-way. A portion of 4th Street is labeled as unimproved, but it is unclear if the intent of this wording was meant to be vacated. If so, the adjoining properties for the unimproved section do not reflect this condition of the road being vacated. We have asked that the applicant clarify this.
Okay, is there any other comments we want to make about this right now, or just table it? Any questions up here? Any staff? No. I'll entertain a motion to table.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by DJ. Second?
I'll second it.
Second by Chris. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carry. No. Motion
So
carried.
I just want to get a quick little discussion about this.
Okay.
For everyone, since we got everyone here this month.
Look at everybody's here.
I applaud your attendance. Good job. This is a little interesting plan that I think we should just kind of point out some of the peculiarities of it that could come up next month once we get some additional feedback from the applicant and their engineer and attorney, perhaps. The stance that we took on this was because they were creating a non-conforming lot, as Jared said, for parcel number 2. It doesn't meet the bulk requirements for a parcel of land in the zoning district, so that's pretty easy. Then we have the issue of the unimproved street of 4th Street. which is interesting because the plan kind of speaks a couple different ways to the status of 4th Street. One being that there was a private easement settlement agreement between two entities over what would be a portion of an abandoned street. However, the plan doesn't show that the ownership of the adjoining properties to this abandonment, quote unquote, I use air quotes on that, to the center line of the prior abandoned street, thereby, landlocking two of the parcels without being, subject to an easement of their own for this. Also, I think it's important to note that there isn't a vacation by the borough for this street that exists. So if we're talking about some more of the recent plans that have been through, things that we brought up in discussion have been similar with Turbovich, with the requirement to vacate a portion of a street in order to facilitate new improvements. This one is a little different because we're at the end of a residential area that goes to what would then be five parcels of land owned by 4 different owners, of which are benefit of a unopened, unimproved street. Correct, those are the facts. However, the status of how is that what rights maintained by these owners to this street really isn't ascertained within this map, nor that a private agreement between 2 entities, but without the the involvement of the other properties owned here wasn't included in this. It just has a little bit of meat on the bone here that needs to be kind of looked at in order to not have a potential issue in the future with not only the Abilio lots but also the Kessler lot that's on the south side of 4th Street as well. So we got a small little subdivision here. However, has some bigger issues at play that have yet to been worked out with this in order to facilitate what is would be a very simple lot line revision plan, moving a portion of land from parcel 1 over to the adjoining lot. So I just wanted to make everyone aware of that because when it comes back, hopefully a better interpretation or guidance from the applicant and their engineer as to, what the involvement is with the other owners at the end of the street and, how does this plan relate to that and the effect it has on these properties that are here. So I just wanted to bring everyone aware of this. We know about it. We talked about it prior to the meeting here. But yeah, it's going to be something that comes up.
So the shaded area, there was some sort of an agreement. Is that paved down there or not? Where does the pavement end?
Oh, you can see on the plan it has 2 existing asphalt cartway, which basically goes to the end parallel to the garage of the Bettler property. That is not. Is that currently maintained by the borough,
Right
Mike?
here.
That little extension.
So it goes to the end of Bettler's property, the pavement. Is that a borough street then? So what? Okay. So what
To the
is
end of the asphalt. Sorry.
There's asphalt there. Asphalt's there.
Correct.
And so it goes that far.
Yeah, and you can actually see that on Street View. That does exist on Google.
Okay. What about how does Kessler get to their home? Or is that anybody live there?
Well, there's no home. It's just property at this
It's just
point.
they could build there.
At this point, they're in the same problem that the Oblios are, with would be an unimproved street and access to their lot, and how to handle that.
So if they wanted to build, then could they request or build a street there? Finish the street to the park?
So yeah, the good lead-in question with that would
Park.
it would be the development of a new public street that would be then follow the same process of construction and turnover to the municipality, or these owners can petition for a vacation of it, and then whatever portion of street that isn't public and opened for public use could be a private street shared with maintenance and ownership in unity with whatever parcels that are benefit of that. So I think the thing is, we don't the applicant has provided a plan that has a, you know, a lot that's non-conforming. With that, it doesn't contemplate, you know, how the access for parcel one is truly achieved through a private easement agreement over what is an unimproved street. If the plan were to say to the effect that, you know, each adjoining property owned to the center street and that all 5 agree to an easement in perpetuity, you know, for ingress, egress, and sanitary and utilities, you know, that'd be a different story. Right now, it appears that they've granted a private easement over a portion of what is a publicly owned and maintained roadway. So it's interesting.
It's not theirs. Which, by the way, cuts off Kessler's.
It does.
Valid. So
It does.
we have to sort it out with their lawyer and engineer, which we intend to do. We're going crazy.
So it's a unique circumstance. You know, we run into the unopened, unimproved streets, you know, with other minor subdivisions before. I think there's just more coordination in this particular application that needs to happen.
Well, this street's is a little more involved than what went on down in the Decker plan with Tarbovich. Those streets were never open. This is not ever finished. This is a big difference, I would think. With Fourth is there. People do live on the above it, and there's homes there. Now, there's 5 parcels, but 2 of them are owned by the same people, aren't they? Abilio owns 2 of them, right?
They are, but it could be owned by somebody else.
Yeah, it could.
That's
They
what
could
I'm
sell
saying.
one. Yeah. Any questions about this?
No.
Okay, we voted to table this? Yeah, okay, we did. All right. Okay, the next item on the agenda is consider approval of a preliminary and final lot line revision plan known as S-3-2025. The 8th revision to Castor Farms located at the 4th and 5th lot of the east side of Castor Lane from Ridge Road, lot and block 1136-B-27 and 1136-B-26, owned by Castor Farm Associates Incorporated and Sharon O'Rourke Huber. The property is zoned R1. The owners of lots 21 and 22 wish to revise the current lot line between the 2 lots. End of the 90-day review period is November 25th, 2025. Tom.
Engineer surveyors Donald Housley, Triangle Engineering and Planning Services, zoning and engineering report, and the Allegheny County review comments are attached. Plan is recommended for approval based on Gateway Engineers review dated August 22nd, 2025. Jared?
This plan was reviewed under Chapter 22 preliminary and final subdivision plans and Chapter 27 R1 zoning requirements. As stated, the plan is recommended for approval. All items included on the preliminary application content checklist were provided. We did not have any additional comments related to this plan.
Okay. Any other staff questions? None. Any questions on the commission? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Approved by Pervez. Second. Second. What's the second? Who seconded? Kevin. Okay. Kevin did. Second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Abstain.
Abstain. Roll call. Oh, that's right. This is dead.
Yeah.
For here. Do you have one somewhere? Okay.
Roll call, Mr. Alvey.
Yes.
Mr. Dean.
Yes.
Mr. Donahue.
Yes.
Mr. Housley.
Abstain.
Mr. Hines, yes. Mr. Montgomery.
Yes.
Mr. Pollock.
Yes.
Mr. Record.
Yes.
Mr. Ripley.
Yes.
What it passed? What was it?
8-1.
8-0-1. Okay. Okay. Okay, the next item on the agenda is general business. Jenny wants to address the planning commission and the public about the comprehensive plan and the saldo. Jenny.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I won't keep you long. I thought it would be prudent to provide a brief update on a couple of longer-range projects and a preview of items to come before Planning Commission in coming months. The Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance Subcommittee convened this evening to review a draft ordinance. The review will resume prior to next month's Planning Commission meeting. The ordinance update has centered on streamlining the process and the procedural requirements, make things a bit easier and clearer for applicants, as well as beefing up design standards with regard to tree cover, recreation dedications or fees in lieu of trails, sidewalks, streetlights, emergency access, a variety of topics. Is there anything you wanted to add, Mike, Mark, Jared?
No, I think we still have more input to get from the committee, and we'll be providing updates as we go through that process again.
Great. The comprehensive plan has been in recommendations review stage over the summer, starting with the steering committee, which received a copy of the recommendations, had the opportunity to provide comment at a meeting in May or June. We presented to the EAC and received comments that we are incorporating, very helpful, thoughtful comments and suggestions. The Recreation Board recently submitted comments on the recommendations, having received a presentation from our Parks and Rec specialist, Heather Kyler, in July. That group then toured the parks, submitted their priorities and recommendations. So we're now working to reconcile their feedback with everything else we've heard. This being an implementable comprehensive plan, we'll want to include site plans, cost estimates, phasing and funding strategies, setting up the borough to achieve a program of improvements that are feasible within a 10-year timeframe. So we anticipate presenting a set of recommendations to Planning Commission at the September meeting to begin workshopping and review with this group.
On which one, both of them, or just the one?
The full set of comprehensive plan recommendations, the saddle will not yet be ready for the full Planning Commission next month.
Okay. How lengthy is this document? Is it?
We'll start with not the full plan document for Planning Commission, but just the recommendations, which I believe are about 10 to 12 pages.
Okay.
We'll send it in advance.
Okay, please.
And what happens after that, after the presentation to Planning Commission, Jen?
So we'll want to make sure Planning Commission is comfortable with the draft recommendations. I would then recommend we present to council to make sure that group is generally on board with how things are shaping up. There is a 45-day at least period where we are required to submit a draft plan to Allegheny County, your neighboring municipalities, and the school district for review. I would recommend that at that time we return to the public, post the draft plan on the plan website, jeffersonhillsplan.com, and get the word out that the plan has taken shape. We've heard everybody in the community, and we've come up with a plan that we hope captures everything they told us was important to achieve. So after the 45 days, council could schedule a public hearing and consider adoption.
Okay. Is that it? Is that all you have?
That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next meeting is on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. We will have a meeting. There will be things on the agenda. So I'll entertain a motion to take, or to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion by Derek to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Jeffrey. All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.